When we talk about music industry legends, we often focus on the artists, but today we're diving into the loss of someone who shaped an entire era of hip hop and R&B from behind the scenes. Someone who turned a $300 million deal into a legacy for his children.
You know what's particularly striking about Irv Gotti's passing at just 54? The way it's forced the industry to confront some hard truths about health and sustainability in this business.
Looking at his career trajectory, it's fascinating how he basically saved Def Jam during their darkest period. Here was this guy who had such an incredible ear for talent that he could walk into a room and completely change the game.
Well, that famous DMX story really captures it perfectly. How did that go down again?
So picture this. Irv brings DMX to Def Jam, and these executives literally laugh him out of the room. But then It's Dark and Hell is Hot drops and becomes one of the most legendary debut albums in hip hop history. After that, those same executives who laughed, they're following his every move.
That kind of vision defined his whole career. From building Murder Inc. to launching careers like J. Rule and Ashanti, working with everyone from Jay-Z to Jennifer Lopez.
And here's what's really interesting about Irv. He wasn't just stuck in one era. Even in recent years, he was making major moves like that Cardi B and Steve Madden collaboration. Plus, his venture into television with shows like Tales showed he understood how to evolve with the times.
The way he approached the business side was pretty remarkable too. That $300 million Masters deal 3 years ago, specifically saying it was for his kids, that shows where his priorities were.
You know what really stands out to me? The way he revolutionized what it meant to be an A&R executive. Back then, you couldn't just sit behind a desk making calls. You had to be in the studio, producing, shaping sounds, really getting your hands dirty.
That hands-on approach seems almost old school now, doesn't it? In an age of viral hits and overnight sensations.
Exactly. And when you look at the tributes pouring in, it's clear how deeply he touched people. Jamie Foxx saying, "Rest in power, my brother. Your music, your legacy will never be forgotten." And J. Rule, someone who worked so closely with him, could only post a broken heart emoji because the pain was so raw.
Speaking of legacy, Russell Simmons really hit on something important when he connected this to the larger issue of health in our community.
That's what makes this so tragic. At 54, with ongoing issues with diabetes management and a stroke just 5 months ago, it really highlights how the industry lifestyle, those late nights, high stress, irregular schedules, can take such a toll if we're not careful.
The way he built Murder Inc. wasn't just about making hits. It was about creating a family, wasn't it?
Absolutely right. And that's what made him special. He wasn't just looking for the next hit. He was building something that would outlast him. Those words Ashanti shared from his Instagram about living life to the fullest, they hit different now.
His impact on the culture goes way beyond just the music. He was literally shaping how an entire generation experienced hip-hop and R&B.
And when you look at his journey from those early days at Def Jam to building his own empire, it's really a masterclass in believing in your vision. Even when people doubted him, he never wavered.
That's probably the biggest lesson we can take from his life, about trusting your instincts while building for the future.
You know what? Maybe that's how we should remember Irv Gotti. Not just for what he achieved, but for how he achieved it. With vision, with integrity, and with this deep understanding that success means nothing if you can't share it with the people you love.
His influence on music, culture, and the business of entertainment will definitely continue to shape generations to come.
And that's really what it comes down to, building something that lasts beyond your time. Irv Gotti did that in spades, and while 54 is way too young to leave us, the legacy he built will keep influencing culture for decades to come. This has been a Sharri Plaza presentation.